In this video, I'm going to explain code repository. So these are all the left-hand menu options I have inside the code repository. I have covered everything, so I'll explain one by one. This is a coordinate drop-down boxes. So when user clicks on one of the containers, the other will hide automatically. So only one is displayed one at a time. And there is a different variation uh, on this particular interface. On the right hand side, plus and minus icons are displayed. So whichever container is open, a minus icon is shown there. Then next is alert success warning boxes. Here, this is how a warning message will be displayed to the user. A success message is displayed in green, and error message is displayed in this red color. Uh, all these all this style information is stored in a style sheet. So if uh, if I just make changes at one place, it will update everywhere. So in future, just in case if we want different colored boxes, then we can make changes to the colors. And there's a cross close button at the top right hand section as well, so it will just remove this particular container completely. um, these are the default different colored boxes that I have placed right now, and these are the different fonts that we can use. We can merge combination of these and use that in this particular container. Then buttons. These are four different kinds of buttons. There are four different sizes of buttons that we have on this project: large, medium, small, and extra small. These are few different colors. Um, then these are different button types. For example, this is a hyperlink, but it is shown as a button. Then this is a proper button. This is input button, and this is a submit button. Uh, and these are different button states. As we can see, this is an active state, and this is a disabled state. In active state, a hand cursor is displayed, and in disabled state, user will not be able to click this button because this has been disabled. Next, here these are web Innov8 colored buttons. So for save, we are using this green color button. For printing labels and warning messages, we are using this orange color buttons. For select, these is the standard, and for operations, this we are using this dark red color. uh, I have created a separate style class for each of these buttons. So if, for example, if we want a blue color for report button in future, then if I just change this class, then it will only make changes to this report button. Even though all these buttons are in red color, the classes are different for each of them. So if I update blue color for this report button, then blue color will only be applicable to this button, and it will not be applicable to rest of the buttons. Hope that makes sense. And then these are the colored buttons, and these are the disabled state. this is just the repetition from the first tab. Then this is a clone functionality. It will if I just click on this plus button, it will copy this entire div section below. As we can see, all the data has been it has copied all the data exactly. I can add another section like this. This this is a little functionality, but it is a very useful one. I've placed it in the repository because I can just reuse this code and it will save a lot of time going forwards. Then this is collapse. So if I click on this plus button, then the hidden container will be displayed. So if I just close this, then it will hide automatically. Here by default the container is shown, so this is the visible state. If I unhide this, then the container has gone now. So these are collapse. This is functionality related to hiding and closing and opening div containers. This is also very frequently used, so I have kept it in the repository. Then checkbox tables. So on just one button click, it will select all the rows inside this table. So this is just a variation. Main tables, I'll explain the main tables below. This is just a variation. I've placed it here because alphabetically C for checkbox comes first. That's why. But I'll explain the main table section below. This is checkbox and radio buttons. So these are the kind of checkboxes, different checkboxes and radio buttons we have on our site. These are like just different colors. For Web Innov8, I'm using this. I have created this in Web Innov8 style. This is Web Innov8 style checkbox, and this is Web Innov8 style radio button. Then this red color. They are all different colored checkboxes. We can have any one we want. Then this is check uncheck all functionality. On just one button click, it will check all checkboxes and uncheck all. The state of the button changes automatically. As we can see now, it says uncheck all, and now it says check all. These are small functionalities, but these are very important ones because these are frequently used in the website, and it just saves a lot of time. Every time I don't have to look for code. I can just reuse this code. Now this is date and time functions. When I click on this input box, a date calendar will pop up. This is simple date functionality. I can just select the date. If I want to change to different month and year, then I'll have to use this option. If for example, if I want to go back to 2010, and if I were to use this left and right options, then it will take a lot of time. So here I have placed drop down list. I can just change year using this drop down list. I can change it to any year I want, and then quickly select the date. It will save a lot of customers' time. Then this is date and time. Here I have also displayed time bar. User can select time, date, and also he has ability to change month and year. Now here this is select date range. I can select now that I have selected 7th October 2014 here, I will not be able to select any dates prior to 7th October. I can only select dates after, on or after 7th. So this is like date range functionality. Only this range is available. So as you can see, 1 to 6 days are disabled. I'm not able to select this, but I can select 7th or any other date after 7th October 2014. This is pretty much the same, but it has this time functionality in it. So I can select time along with date. So this was date and time. Now I'll move on to forms. These are the form elements. Uh, this is what the forms will look like on Web Innov8 backend. These are the buttons: save, close, print. These are normal text boxes. These are labels, drop down lists, then the check boxes and radio buttons. This is text area. These are fancy check boxes here and radio buttons, and these are just plain HTML check boxes and radio buttons. As we can see, these are just the normal ones that we see on most of the sites. So this were forms. Now this is a different layout. This is like create, select, report, view and active layout. So when I click on this, it will load a new container. When I click on report, it will load the report container and it will hide the create container. So this is how this works. Now this is the third type of form, and these are like tabbed forms. I don't have to like write the code again and again. I can just reuse this code. So I've placed it on the left hand side. Now then these are just sample images: square, rounded, boxed. And this is masking. Masking is very useful functionality, as it will only capture exact data from the customer. For example, if we were to record credit card number, it has to be 16-digit number. It cannot be less than that or more than that. So if I use this masking on that particular input field, then it will capture accurate data. If I just leave, if I move my cursor onto some other field, then it will erase all the previous data. It will not accept it. It will only accept 16 digits. So this was credit card number format. Then this is date. It will only accept date. It will not take any alphabets. It will just take the date format. Then this is phone. Again, it will not accept any numbers. It has to be exactly 10 digits, otherwise it will erase everything. The same goes for zip codes. This format is very easy to create. Any developer should be able to create a new format by just looking at the code on this particular page. So this was masking. Now the next functionality is pop-ups. So this is extra small pop-up, the smallest size. I can click on this top right cross icon to close this window, or I can just use this close button to close this pop-up. Then small pop-ups, the size is little bigger to the previous one. Medium pop-ups and large pop-ups. So these are 4 different sizes, pop-up sizes. Um, it is very slick. It opens very quickly. So now this is a popover functionality. A user just has to place his cursor or click on the button, and extra information will pop up. So it displays information on the left, on top, bottom, or right. This is like extra information. Um, so the web page looks clean, neat and clean. Now scroll bars. So these are different types of scroll bars, different designs of scroll bars. So the first one is Web Innov8 color design. As you can see, the scroll bar is in Web Innov8 colors, and if I move my cursor away from this, then the scroll bar will hide automatically. This will help. As you can see, the scroll bar here on the page, it doesn't. If I were to have this kind of scroll bar here within this section, then it will look very untidy, and it will take some space. But this one, it looks very nice, and it hides automatically, so it doesn't take much space. It only comes up when it's required, and also it is in Web Innov8 colors. So this is another design. Like we can also use these. I've created few different designs. This is with a dark black color. This is a bit thick in size. This is the 5th design and 6th design. So at the moment, yeah, all the code is available on this particular page, and I've created global variables. So by just changing one line of code, we will be able to have any of these designs on our page, all across the website. Next is radio buttons. It will only let me select one of the data. So this is radio button functionality within tables. Now tabs. So I'm using this new tab system. It is very slick and very easy to use, and it loads data quickly. I can create as many tabs I want, one within another, and I can just keep going on. These particular interface, this particular GUI, it has like 4 different tabs, but the next one, tab 2, this interface is a little bit different. All the tabs are displayed inside one main container. So this will and the save button is at the bottom. So I think it will be very clear to customers that they are required to fill information in tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, tab 4, and then click save button, and that will save information uh, for this entire form. And here they will have to click save button individually, because these are individual forms, individual sections. So tab 1 is completely different to tab 2, and so the save button displayed on tab 1 will be different to tab 2. So they'll have to click save every time, but here they will just have to click save once. Hope that makes sense. um, I've used this kind of interface on suppliers. So as you can see, this is the main window, create new supplier, and these are the tabs. So user is first required to fill all this information in, and then once everything has been entered, all the fields have been completed, then click save at the end, and it will save data for everything. So uh, but if you see supply definitions, this is different. So the supply type section is different and order method section is different. Here it says order method, here it says supply type. So these are like different tab formats, tab designs. Now moving on to tables. Here um, in this table there is user can select on this fields to hide data. Eh, if they don't want to see any particular data, they can just hide it, unhide, or if they want to see data, then they can they can just unhide the checkbox, and that will reappear again. And here there is ascending descending sort functionality, so it will sort data accordingly. At the moment this is highlighted, so this means data is currently being sorted descendingly. And if I click that again, that means it's being sort alphabetically in ascending order. Now user can set these for each of the columns. There is also search feature in the tables. As you can see, there's a search feature in the tables, so I can just search for a particular, using a particular keyword, and it will give me that precise entry if it exists in the database. And user can use this to see all the record at once, or user can also make use of this pages. The data is spread across pages, so he can move using this icons, using this page options below. So these functionality was so these were tables. Now I'll explain uploader, image uploader. So user can drag and drop files within this sections, and user can select upload multiple files. For example, I can, now that I've selected, I'll be able to see image preview, so I know whether I've selected the right image or not. And after selecting this images, I can add more images to my uploader. And I also have the option to change view. I can just choose to see the file names, reorder this. I can also rename the file. For example, I can just rename this to I can just rename the file name here, and this file name will then get stored in the database. So again, I can also choose what format I want. This particular code doesn't accept videos, so it's giving me an error. It only select images. So this was image uploader. One more thing, once all the images have been gets uploaded, when user clicks save button, the images that were queued earlier, or that were in this image uploader, it will be removed automatically. So user doesn't have to reload the entire page. He can he doesn't have to he will get fresh uploader every time. uh, I've created a video for brands. So in that you will see that I can user can just click create every time. He can add multiple brands quickly at the same time, and he can click save. He doesn't have to refresh the whole page. All the images that were previously uploaded, it will get removed automatically, and he will be presented with a fresh uploader. Now these are validations. These validations make sure that current only genuine data is being entered on the form. uh, so if the data is not genuine, then it will trigger an error. So for example, as you can see, there are this many fields. If I just click save, then it will trigger an error immediately. It will say these fields are required. So all these fields are required. I cannot leave them blank. Now I'm going to explain each of these fields one by one. So minimum length, if I just put one here, then it will give me an error. It says please enter at least 5 characters. So anything less than that will give me an error. If I enter alphabets here, then it again gives me an error. It says please enter valid number. It only accepts numbers. So now that I have entered more than 5 digits, it will allow me to proceed. Then maximum length. Uh, Maximum length allowed is 5 characters. Because I've entered more than 5 characters, it's giving me an error. Here it says please enter a value between 2 and 6 characters long. So if I enter 3, it will please enter. So now that I have entered 3 characters, it will allow me to proceed. Here the minimum value required is 3 or greater than 3. So anything less than that is not acceptable. So if I enter 4, the error has been removed. Now maximum value. Uh, Here it says please enter value less than or equal to 5. Now because I have entered 12, it has given me an error. This URL, if it's not a valid URL, it must include http colon slash and then the domain name and .com. If the string doesn't have that, then it will trigger an error. The email address format should be valid. It should have @ and .com at the end, otherwise it's not acceptable. The date should be valid. Should be in this particular format. Then decimal numbers, only digits. If I enter alphabets here, then it won't work. It says please enter valid number. Then passwords and confirm password. If I, for example, if I just enter test here, and if I enter test1 here, then it will give me an error. It says please enter the same value again. If I remove this last letter, then the error has gone now. So it will check, it will make sure that both the inputs are correct. Then these are the drop down list check boxes. I cannot leave this blank, and I cannot leave this text area blank, otherwise it will trigger an error. As you can see it here, it says this field is required. So these are validations, and these are very important. This is very important part of the website, because it will make sure that only genuine data is stored in the database. If the data is not correct, then it will not submit the form, and it will ask user to re enter the data, the required fields. So next, search feature tables. Here, in this on this particular table, user can search for a particular data, then refresh the contents of the table. He can unhide particular item, and most importantly, user can also download data in this many formats. So if I download this in CSV, then I'll be able to, it says do you want to save this file, save file. Okay, now it has saved this data for me. As we can see, it has I'm going to that was CSV format, so comma separated values. I can also download data in Excel format. So when I click save, it will save this data into an Excel file. So as we can see, all the data, PNG, GIF, JPEG, and everything has been placed into this Excel file. And there's this pagination option below, and I can use this to to view a number of rows on one single page. Now switches, these are on off yes no switches. So this is on off button where default is off. This is yes no button where default is switch to yes. This default is switch to, so basically these are on off switches. And here in the next tab, these buttons will display div containers. For example, at the moment the switch is on, and that is why this div container is displayed. So if I switch off this div, then uh, this will get hidden, this will be removed. So it has been removed now. Here in the above example, as we can see, the default option is off. So that is why we are not able to see the div container. But when I click on this button, now I'm able to see the div container. So this way switches. Now tool tips. uh, when I hover over this links, I'll be able to see data. These are like contextual help. This will quickly help the user to this will help the user with quick. This is like quick help information. Yeah, so I can even place that on buttons anywhere I want. Then typography, these are just different heading types: H1, H2, H3, H4. And text editor, so I can use these editor to format my data. We can use this for in content inventory management, and we can use this on about us, contact us pages, and for writing policy information and all those things. uh, so these were all the functionality for code repository. Thank you.